And welcome for this YHC exclusive. We're along with Tila Hubrecht, the 151st District State Representative for the state of Missouri. And Tila, it's good to have you along with us today.
Thank you. It's good to be back home.
Yeah, you've had a good run of it to start the session over the last few weeks, and I'm sure you're going to get into that. But I know we've got some really important information locally with Noranda and their announcement they're going to lay off upwards to 500 workers over the next probably month or two. And I know especially at the local level, and hopefully it's stretched up to the state level of some solution that can become about to save as many jobs at Noranda as possible.
We are hoping to. We worked this week very diligently. I've called Congressman Smith's office. They're working very diligently on this. I've called Senator Blunt's and McCaskill's office, and I was given reassurance they were also working very diligently. I went to the governor's office, called and spoke with his staff. So everyone is very much aware of the situation, and I think everyone's trying to find something. If worst case scenario, find other jobs. So we're trying to be very realistic about this situation, and also trying to make sure that we get help.
Sure, I know there's some programs that.
There
things
are
to do for those that are displaced?
Actually, absolutely. In fact, I've got it saved here on my phone. On February the 5th at 9 to 3:30 at Sykeston at the Three Rivers campus, there's going to be a job fair for the displaced workers. And if any employers are wanting to participate in that, they can call my office, and I will put them in contact with the person that they need to talk with, or they're welcome to call Three Rivers College as well. And there's also a meeting on January the 19th from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. there in Marston at the Steelworkers Union Hall on workforce training dollars. That we're making sure that we try to, if we're not able to help Noranda to save the New Madrid plant, we're like I said, worst case scenario, trying to find other jobs for these workers. We want to be as helpful as possible to the displaced workers. These are very skilled workers, and we want to do everything that we can to, be there for them during this horrible time for them and their families, and provide the necessary resources. So the job fair and the meeting at the Steelworkers Union Hall in Marston. The job fair again. Let me tell you that one more time. Make my phone cooperate here. The Steelworkers Union Hall meeting, which is about the workforce dollars, is January the 19th from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. And the job fair is on February the 5th from 9 a.m. to 3:30 at Three Rivers Sykeston campus. So, and if there's any other details, any other job fairs or anything else, I will make sure that I get that information out. And if there's any one that has any questions about who to contact, what to do there, feel free to call my office.
Okay. So I know it's a very difficult time for those workers that are going to be laid off there at Noranda. And, those families are going to be, looking for the next step. And it's certainly easier if you've got a little help along the way.
Absolutely, absolutely. So my office will be available to provide any help that we can.
Sure. All right. Well, hope for the best for that going forward for all those workers, especially, and for the ones that remain at Noranda. You don't want to lose any more than possible there at the Noranda location.
Absolutely. And one thing about the situation at Noranda, I would encourage everyone to do is call Washington, D.C. If we can flood every single office in Washington, D.C. with phone calls, Noranda, as well as other manufacturing businesses, China is flooding the market right now with quality products that are not high quality like what we make here in the U.S., and they're flooding them with these inferior products at very cheap prices. That's something I don't have input on at the state level, but our Washington, D.C. People do. And so I just encourage everyone to flood Washington, D.C. with phone calls and ask them to put some fairness back in those trade practices to where our businesses can compete. This is not right, what is happening. But China is just flooding the market. It is so wrong.
Yeah, it's not good at all. So
Yes.
hope for the best going forward. And I know Jason Smith's probably on top of a lot of things.
He has been working. I've talked with his office several times, and they have been working very diligently on this, as well as I've talked with Senator Blunt's office several times, and they're also working very diligently on this issue. And both have reassured me they're trying to work towards doing something about these unfair trade practices that are hurting our businesses.
Sure. So Jason Smith is a U.S. Congressman here, 8th Congressional District, Southeast Missouri. So it happens going forward, but certainly, little scare this week that we had, and hopefully it'll start to iron itself out.
I hope so. Yeah. I hope so.
Anything else you'd like to share with us from the Capitol since the session got underway?
We had our first full week this week. Last week, was the beginning, and there was a lot of pomp and circumstance last week. But this week, it was definitely down to business. We actually had 4 ethics reforms bill that came to the floor, and I think that was a wonderful way to start off our session. Last session ended on such a negative note that I feel, beginning our session with ethics reform and making sure that what we're doing is definitely public service. And I think that is just a great tone to set and to reinforce that with everyone that is there. Sure. So I'm very excited. It will stop the where we've had instances where, we had, even this last session, elected officials that resigned in the middle of their term to take a lobbying position. If these bills, they pass through the House, if they pass through the Senate, that will stop. They will not be allowed to do that. Also making sure that our different finance and ethics forms are a little bit more transparent for voters to look at. So that's very good. I'm really excited about the tone that we're starting off here with ethics reforms. Sure. I think that's great.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So we got to talk about a few things a few weeks ago that were introduced, and a lot of things got introduced all at once.
Yes.
And now it's the process of filtering a lot of the things out and committing to some other things. So.
Absolutely, and it's like this particular bill that I'm going to have heard this next week. I've got 3 bills that are going to be heard in committee. One bill that I've gotten that's going to be heard is terribly written. I mean, terribly written. And I've talked with the chairman, and he's assured me the bill will go no further than that. But the concept of the bill is what I want to bring to light, is increasing our transparency and improving our communication with the citizens of Missouri. And I hope that, with the ethics reform and then this discussion that I'll start with this terribly written bill, I hope that we'll really, show Missouri what we're trying to do, that we're working hard and really trying to serve the citizens of Missouri, but also rebuild some trust. People have lost trust in government, and rightly so, because there's been some actions that have been so wrong.
Sure.
So. Hopefully my badly written bill that will go nowhere. I've talked with the speaker and everyone. The bill is completely dead, but I want to bring that thought. How do we communicate? How do we make things more transparent? Sure. I think that's very important.
Sure. All right. Well, anything else you'd like to share with anyone from the area?
I'm just excited that I'm home this weekend. Just finished up talking with Chaffee, 4th grade students, showing them pictures of our state capitol, and it was very exciting to see the kids and just to see their excitement. So sure. I hope we can bring some of that back.
Sure. And what's your phone number?
It is 573-751-1494.
Okay.
Yeah, and like we had mentioned earlier, if any of the displaced workers have any questions, concerns, call my office. We'll be glad to try to get them put with the right resource.
Sure. And as you see there, give our office a call if you need any of those dates, locations, or anything else, any other concerns you would have regarding state government that pertains here to Southeast Missouri. You can call Representative Hubrecht's office, and they will get you squared away. So keep that in mind.
Thank you.
Well, we appreciate you spending some time with us today.
Thank you.
And best of luck there in Jefferson City, trying to iron things out going forward in this session. I know it's a long session ahead, but we'll see what takes place this session.
Absolutely.
All right.
Thank you.
And that's our YHC exclusive for today.